Hey guys, welcome back to Travel Talks with VK Vlogs. Today we have somebody really special, someone whom I know when she was in school. Now she's become the director at the JD Institute of Fashion Technology, an institute where I have graduated and done my fashion designing in 2013. I'm talking about like really behind the time, but since then she has been a great support and a great motivator. Please welcome Akshra.
Thank you. We're so happy, Vineet, that you're back at the campus. And we couldn't be more proud of everything that you've achieved, everything that you've done so far.
I feel so good coming back to this campus. पुरानी यादें ताज़ा हो रही हैं मेरी इस समय, where I used to do a lot of masti and being creative, and today we are here sitting, being creative and creating some nice content for you guys. So Akshara not only heads the, she's the director at JD Institute, she also heads the global operations, and she keeps on traveling to a lot of places across India and across the world as well. And as far as I know, we have a campus in London also, where she goes every 2 months before the COVID times, but now I think she's gonna start traveling again, and I think her second home is London.
It is.
So we would be really glad if you could share some of your great travel stories with our viewers, and we're gonna be some short set of questions that I'm gonna ask you, and let's see how that goes.
Absolutely.
Shall we start?
Yes.
Awesome. So this is a question which was my favorite question also. Which is your favorite travel destination, or what city or country do you like to travel the most?
So you already said it yourself. It has to be London.
Okay.
Of course, I go there so frequently, but it's also like home. So for any one of you who've been to London, you know how easy it is to navigate around and how acceptable the city is. But yeah, I think it gives you good food, good fashion, good luxury.
Yeah,
so I
that
think
is
it's
true.
wrapped in one.
I think that's the most special thing also about that place, right?
Yes.
You get everything at one go. In one city, you have the luxury, you have the fashion, you get to travel across different cities also. So, any interesting stories from London that you want to share?
So many. Okay, of course I traveled for work, but I was also a student back in London. I stayed there for about 2.5 years. So yeah, I think each place in London, each corner that you go to, it's very creatively, it's like a stimuli for you. It helps you be more creative. Of course, I was doing my graduation in that same area. But the easiest thing about London that I felt was every time you walk on the street, you'd make a good conversation with someone. It could be a 90-year-old person, it could be a 13-year-old person, it could be someone who's really popular and famous, and it could be a normal person as well. So that's one thing that I have so many stories with strangers. Of course, in India, we say that don't talk to strangers, but I think when you know that it's safe enough and when you're traveling, it's fine.
Any particular story that you remember from with a stranger?
Yeah, so I think it was back in 2017. I was stuck with my dissertation. I couldn't crack the final thing that I wanted to do.
I remember that.
And yeah, I did send you a questionnaire to fill in.
Yes.
And I was trying to work around my conclusion. And it was, I think, 6:30 in the morning when I was going to my campus. So my campus is right between Regent's Park, if anyone's been there. It's a beautiful place, swans, lakes, very magical. And it was 6:30 in the morning, it had just snowed. And I was sitting on a bench by myself with my laptop, racking my brains on what to do. And this old gentleman comes in. He was easily 90 plus.
Wow.
He sits down and he says that I looked at you from across the street and I think you're worried and maybe I can help you with something. He sat me down, we spoke for an hour and a half and I cracked my dissertation conclusion.
Wow.
And that was the best part of my dissertation, for which I won an award as well.
That is so cool.
And I remember I told him, I was like, I hope I can see you again. And he said, yes, I come here every Wednesday. I went back on Wednesday, I couldn't meet him, he wasn't there. But I think it was like a very magical thing for me that I met a stranger. He helped me crack down something that I was stuck for about a month. And that ended up being the best part of my dissertation.
Wow. I mean, all these magical stories happen while you travel.
While you travel, absolutely.
Amazing. This was so cool, man. I'm getting goosebumps right now, like remembering, imagining that you're talking to that person there, sitting there, putting on a presentation. That's amazing.
I hope he sees this and maybe comes back and sort of connects back with me, because I'd like to say thank you to him.
Amazing. We'll try to promote this in London.
Done.
To people above 98 years of age. Awesome. So you said about traveling. So do you like to travel solo, company, friends, family, and why?
So I've been meaning to do a solo trip, but of course we come from Indian backgrounds where solo trip is frowned upon. Parents are quite worried about that. But I think I'd still rather do a company travel and maybe with one person, with my best friend.
Okay.
Tick off all the bucket list options that we have. I think with solo travel is also something that people should try. It helps you grow. I've been on solo dinners and lunches. They've been interesting enough. So maybe soon a solo travel.
Okay.
But for me right now, it's maybe traveling with one person or two people tops, not a very big group.
Any disadvantages that you face while doing that?
With a bigger group?
With a bigger group or maybe traveling with one person?
With a bigger group, I think too many opinions, too many places to visit, too many mood swings to handle, and too many food options to take care of.
That's
again.
true.
So I think when you go with 6+,
No.
you have
It's
to
a
break
no.
out in, yeah. And also I'm someone who likes to go to a lot of museums and I like to take my own sweet time. So in a bigger group, that never works out. With one person, maybe, yeah, it could get a little boring, maybe a little monotonous if you're there with the same person.
Correct.
But with traveling, like I said, you meet so many people. So I think it's only on the first 2-3 days that you're alone and then you like bring people on board as you go ahead.
That's true. So what's the longest that you have been traveling away from your home, or are there any interesting stories behind that?
So of course I was there in London for my academics.
And
for
how long
masters.
was that?
That was 2.5 years.
Oh, but that was like you were living there, but like
Yeah.
traveling, like you travel for work like for 2 months to London. So that's traveling, right? Like how long have you been traveling at a stretch?
So I think because we've already covered London, I'll give you another place.
Awesome.
I went to Sri Lanka when I was 18 on an internship for about a month.
Wow.
So I was interning with the tourism department and the Oberois.
Wow.
So that was quite fun. I was super young, but we had a lot of people coming in from around the world. So people from Australia, from Singapore, from UK. Everyone was there, and we were told to sort of do a campaign for the tourism department. The best thing about this is because it was done by the tourism department, they took us to all the major places and the major hotels that came in. So that was quite fun. It was also like my first trip by myself where I didn't have friends that I knew of or my parents. So that was interesting. The most interesting thing again about that trip was that I jumped into water without a life jacket. So we took a yacht. It was a nice...
So jumped into the sea, not water.
Yeah,
like
I jumped into the sea.
Or
sorry.
Indian Ocean, I should say, because Sri Lanka is surrounded by Indian Ocean.
So we were quite deep inside. I could see the corals, the sun was setting, and I'm afraid of sharks. So for me to jump inside the ocean is not, even if I know
any
that.
normal person would be afraid of sharks.
Yeah, like I think I have a paranoia around it. But I think the water was so crystal clear, it was blue with coral, the sunset.
Wow.
And it was just, I think, a moment where I didn't even tell anybody I'm jumping. I just jumped off the yacht.
Wow. I never knew this side of yours.
Yeah. I could be very spontaneous when it comes to traveling or when it comes to doing these crazy things. But yeah, that was one of the most liberating moments I've had in life. Like,
That's so cool.
Turning points, I believe.
That is so cool. Impressive. Like, do you like collecting a lot of things while you travel, or maybe you can tell us your 3 most treasured collectibles?
Yeah, I think so. I don't believe in buying expensive things. I feel like every time I go there, I want to get something that would remind me of that place. So as a collectible, I collect shot glasses from whichever country I visit.
Shot glasses?
Yeah, so I have like a bunch of them in the house. No one's allowed to drink from it because I'm very particular. No harm should come to them. But other than that, I'll collect smaller things. So like when I went to Ibiza, I collected sand. So I have like Ibiza sand in my house.
Wow.
I went to Norway. I got this big red leaf. Again, it's between my books. And so that's very important to me. And what's the other thing? There is this soft toy that I got from, again, from Norway. Again, very close to my heart. It just reminded me of something. But I like to pick up things that are very true to that area. So sand, shells, leaves, an interesting rock.
I think when you go to Canada, I'm sure that you're gonna get a maple leaf from there.
That's next on my list.
I could imagine that, but honestly, but really different set of things that you actually collect. I've never heard somebody collecting shot glasses. I've heard people collect fridge magnets and then they have this opener, but nobody's allowed to open any bottle from them. I think it's the same with you, that nobody is allowed to have any shot from that shot glasses. But very nice, yeah. I mean, this sounds really interesting, and this actually tells the kind of person you are actually when you collect things. Awesome. So now, since you work with fashion industry and you have like really close to a lot of students and a lot of mentors and a lot of designers across the industry, how would you describe the connection between travel and fashion?
I think fashion is expression. So every place that you go will have some amount of expression to it, and the people expressing how they feel and how they want to dress. So it's very important. So as someone coming from the design background, I think I have a very keen eye on what people are wearing in that space or in that country, and I would try and, of course, not copy them, but try and get the attire which is the most appropriate according to how they dress up. So if I go to Paris, I'm always going to be in more of blacks and blues. When I went to Ibiza, color on the house. When I went to Sri Lanka, again, a lot of dresses. So I will try and see what they wear and have my bags packed according to that. So I think that's a little internal fashion thing that I do. But in terms of work, I try and meet as many artists I can, because I do visit a lot of museums and exhibitions that are happening around that time. So I will always try and reach out to them, get their perspective, what they've done. And I think it's something that, like, I'm a geek about art. So
yeah. I mean, when you travel, you see a lot of inspiration all throughout. Like you see different people wearing different things. You can also find somebody in London full of color, but somebody in London like black, blues, and whites.
yeah.
So it's always a great inspiration while you travel.
I think so. Back in London, there's this place called Camden Town.
Okay.
It's quite popular. It's actually a punk market. So when you go there, you'd have people with spikes studded onto their faces. You have interesting hair color, latex pants, and so sometimes when I was studying there, when we went there, we'd all do the same thing. We'd like put on those fake piercings on, put tattoos on, put on leather pants.
I can't imagine you in all of that, but still I'm trying to. How would you look?
Oh no.
All those tattoos?
I think I was a rebel, and I was like a very punk influenced kid when I was 16. So I had a lot of skulls and like a lot of dark clothing, and I used to only wear black.
When you were 16, I only knew that you were in school.
No, I listened to a lot of rock music as well. So
that's why that Chini wala cafe. I remember. What is that name?
100% rock.
TC and 100% rock. Amazing. That's when things come. Now I can relate. I can connect the dots basically. Awesome. So those were amazing answers. So now we come to the rapid fire round. You have to be rapid and you have to be very spontaneous. So shall we start?
Absolutely.
So what's the first thing that comes to your mind when I say the word travel?
London.
Okay, your dream travel destination.
I think the Amalfi Coast. I've been meaning to go there for a while. Hopefully I can make it in July.
I wish the best that you absolutely make it there. What kind of hotel do you like? Resorts, homestay or Airbnb?
It really depends on what sort of vacation am I doing. If I'm going for a work visit, I want a hotel. I need room service. I need someone to clean my room. If I'm going with my friends, I prefer an Airbnb because I feel it gives you more comfort. You can cook whenever you want to. You can host parties when you're out. So yeah, I think Airbnb and...
Okay, so now you answered two. So now you have to give me your most memorable hotel stay and as well as your Airbnb stay.
Okay, so my most memorable hotel stay was in Amsterdam.
Okay.
Where I thought I was going to be kidnapped, which is why it's memorable.
Wow, please give the story to us.
So me and my friends thought that, let's do a quick trip to Amsterdam, and we did not pre-plan it. So we booked the first hotel we thought fit in our budget because we were on a student budget. It was in the central city, which was the damn central area. Pictures were great. However, when we landed up at the hotel, it was quite shady. But because we had prepaid, we're just like, no, suck it up, just go. But yeah, I think we climbed about 3 floors with big, massive suitcases because we're girls, of course, we're going to carry a lot of things. Pulled all our suitcases up by ourselves, no bellboy, of course. And there was just like creaking voice throughout the night that kept on coming. There was a man yelling. So we all like held hands together and slept and said, if we survive, we're moving out tomorrow because it's too late.
It sounds more like a lodge than a hotel.
It was a hotel. It was an expensive hotel to add.
Okay, I mean, those guys are earning basically.
Yeah. And I think for my Airbnb, it was Ibiza. Because we were at this apartment style thing where a lot of people again from around the world had come and stayed. And in the evening, suddenly everyone would put their music on, come outside on the balcony and start dancing.
Wow.
And we were not aware about this tradition in that area apparently. So it was really cool because we made friends from across the other building holding up cards
Wow.
to us saying hello, hola, and all of that. So that was quite.
So many new things you discover when you stay at these places.
Mhm.
That's amazing. Okay, so are you travel with an itinerary or someone who goes with the flow?
So when I do it with my friends, I have two of my friends who are absolute nut jobs at planning and doing these itineraries. So I let them do that, but I will always have my own little things that I add on to it. But I'm not someone who would always want to do this itinerary thing. I think you should just go explore, see what you like, and then sort of take it from there.
Awesome. Your favorite travel theme movie?
I don't know. I don't think I have like a favorite travel theme movie.
Anyone that you can think of.
Like
Don't give me
now,
your
like
favorite.
a very girly one, Monte Carlo. Maybe I saw an ad of it somewhere, but yeah, like when these girls end up in Monte Carlo and they
okay.
meet the prince or someone.
Okay. Your favorite airline?
My favorite airline, Etihad.
Etihad?
Yeah, good food.
Really?
Yeah.
Probably that's on the bottom list of mine. I've had a bad experience.
Okay, I've always had a good Etihad moment.
Great. Okay, now you have to give me, you have to choose between one option which I give. Would you rather lose all your travel photos or all of your money?
Wow. So I have lost all my travel photos in Bali when my phone got stolen.
Okay. So you have had that experience. Now which one would you choose?
And I have lost money as well.
You have had both experience. Now which one would you choose?
Yes, I think travel photos because when I lost my money, I didn't have a way to go to the airport. So
Okay.
photos it is.
Photos it is. I mean, if you have money, then you can rebuild those photos and
But now I'm smarter. I put everything on my cloud immediately. So now it's always uploading on my cloud.
Awesome. Would you rather travel the world by plane or a ship?
Plane.
Would you rather see a lot of countries or for a little bit or get to know one in depth?
Lot of countries.
A lot of countries.
Yeah.
Would you rather upgrade your flight or your hotel room, especially in Amsterdam's?
Well, hotel.
Hotel.
Longer stay, right? Like I'm assuming it's going to be a 25-day stay. So
Could be,
yeah. So hotel.
Awesome. That was great. Those were really spontaneous and well-deserved answers. And so lastly, I asked this to everyone because in life we have a lot of options. We can go and party, we can Netflix and chill, and we can do so many things. But we choose to travel. So why do you travel?
For me, I think travel, again, because we have such monotonous lives back in our country homes, that travel just gives you a good break. Also for someone working within the creative field, and I think you'd agree to that as well, is you get mental blocks very quickly.
True.
And for you to be always creative and productive enough, you need to take those stops, do something that you wouldn't do in general, bring the spontaneity out, and then go back to work. So for me, travel helps me be more productive.
Okay. And are there any learnings or what has travel taught you generally?
I think travel's definitely taught me how to be more organized because your immigration and your paperwork, all of that has to be on point. It has also taught you how to be more planned in life because if you miss that train, you'll have to wait for another 6 hours.
That's true.
So make sure you're not late, you're more punctual, you're more planned. And it has also taught me how to get ready under 2 minutes.
Wow, that is impressive.
Yeah. And also I think bits and pieces of languages, of course, don't tell me to repeat any of the things that I've learned here and there. But how to talk to a cab guy, how to say those little words so that they understand.
You basically learn the trick of the trade.
Yes.
Awesome. That was so cool, Akshara. It was really nice to have you on this show. I was planning this since a long time and I wanted her brother Harsh also to be here, but he's not here today. But Zinda hai, he's just traveling somewhere else. But Harsh, if you're seeing this, in the next episode you have to be with me because I had planned a travel quiz with both of you, but that could not happen today.
But he is in the spirit of your blog, right? He is traveling.
He is traveling, of course.
So he's taking the spirit ahead and taking a flight.
So next time when he's here, we'll shoot an interview with him, and I hope you enjoyed this interview.
I did, absolutely. It was so nice talking about traveling. Hopefully we get to do it soon enough.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And if you guys have enjoyed this interview, please do not forget to like, subscribe, and share. And if you would want to share your own travel stories, and if you think that you have some interesting set of travel experiences, please write to me in the comments below, and you can be here sharing your own travel experiences. Till then, I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Cheers.